Tony Finau's Swing Theory Review number 2. His setup. Up top, he's set up to swing left-hand backhand. Now he's set up to swing right-hand backhand. Look at that. Pretty similar to me. First up, neutral grip.
You notice here how the glove hand is tending on the neutral side. Ordinarily in the modern day game, that glove hand will be turned way more over the club. Contrasting a short iron, we still have that neutral grip.
As a reference for how talked about strong versus neutral grip are, here are the neutral golf grip search results for Golf WRX forums. How should the neutral grip feel at address? Strong to neutral grip, worth it? Struggling to switch from strong to a more neutral grip. Changing from strong to neutral grip, always a good thing. Weak grip. Wow. Found a thread, neutral grip, should have listened, but a guy who took a little bit of time to weaken his grip from the strong gorilla grip that he had, and things went a lot better. There's a comment in here that gives a pretty good summary of the difference between strong grip and neutral grip that I want to talk about here. If your timing is right that day, the strong grip works fine, but it's a little off and bad things happen, where the more neutral grip is much more consistent and takes a lot less thought to pull off shot after shot. Disc golf doesn't have a strong versus neutral grip discussion because there is only the neutral grip.
If you're giving a lesson to somebody
and the alignment is either back of the forearm is flush with the back of the wrist and hand, because it gives you a soft range of motion that doesn't have to be so precise, but allow consistency and replication that you and I always try to strive for with our students.
Back of the hand and form aligning with a disc, that is the grip they have in disc golf. Back of the hand and form aligning with our club face, that is the grip we should have with our clubs. And if with a neutral grip, they're able to have this much control and this much power, we should have a neutral grip as well. Point number 2 is how Finau has a hovering club head.
So now the club head's hovering, and we're going to take him back. That hovering club head facilitates a smooth, full wind-up as he takes it away.
Having a hovering club head absolutely facilitates a smooth takeaway. And it's not like we're not used to a hovering club head. Every time you're in a bunker, you are hovering that club head. And in disc golf as well, clearly the disc is hovering. I bring this up because Immelman makes the comment about the hovering club head being something slightly different, when I think it should be the case for every shot. Here's a video from GQ with Finau going through his bag. This is a 4-iron. And going back here, you can see that his first move before he takes it away is to bring the club up and then back. This I can count as hovering as well. The main point of this is you want to be able to feel the club face in your hand and have a really good sense of where it is before even starting the swing. You don't want to have it on the ground and your first move being gripping it more tightly. You take it back, the club head gets stuck in the grass, closes, and you're messed up. There's no shame in hovering. I've done it for a long time. Everybody should do it. Finau does it already. Final point to talk about in this video is the open club face at address.
Can you see how that club face there is just marginally open? Tony plays with a weaker club face that he strengthens through the ball. He has that open club face.
Strengthening the club face through the ball is a topic for a different video. What I want to talk about here is why having the open face helps with the takeaway. And spoiler, has to do with the elbow plane.
This is probably the most important thing that I have seen teaching lessons myself. It's one of the biggest portions of the disc golf throw that need work for newer players. And it's the positioning of the elbow when you, number one, extend to throw, and also when you begin rotating and creating that coil to eject the disc out. So the easiest rule of thumb that I can give anyone watching this video, if they're wondering if they have good elbow positioning, is the crease of your elbow throughout the entire swing, is it facing up in the air or is it facing out? When we supinate, the crease of your elbow is going to go up. And this is a no-no if you're trying to throw a power shot.
Throughout the entire swing, the crease of our elbow should be pointed out and backwards. Here's a throwback Simon and Eagle driving clinic where Simon talks about the same thing.
You want your arm curled and then straight and then curled and then straight. That's what makes it look effortless, is the elbow joint.
The elbow joint makes it effortless, and it starts with the curl. So what does this have to do with the golf swing? I'm bringing in DJ here, who is the king of strong grips. And if you look at his elbow crease positioning at address, it is pointed backwards. And then in the takeaway, you can watch that elbow crease on the right, and you'll see it is on plane. He's not curling, like Simon said, but he's positioned correctly. And that's why everybody likes strong grips, because it gets that elbow plane correct with no effort. Moving DJ below and to compare, I'm going to use Adam Scott, who's often known for having the neutral grip, beautiful setup, beautiful swing. This is a 150 either yard or meter shot here. Beautiful swing, beautiful music too. But when we go back and look at his takeaway, you can see that elbow crease is pointed up and out. That is off plane. And if I knew how to draw arrows, the arrow I would point for his elbow crease is this way, away from the ball, and DJ's would be this way, on the ball. You can say, yeah, sure, it's the takeaway, and you can get it back on plane like Scott does at the top here. But going back to Simon,
It's so hard to repeat this motion every time exactly the same. But if you keep it on the same level, it's a lot easier, a lot more consistent. It's all about consistency. Difference between good players and great players is consistency.
one more note about Adam Scott, and the reason I'm using this video of him has to do with the first video that I made. He gets asked what his best round ever was on tour.
I shot 10 under at Muirfield Village the second round of Jack's tournament in '06. I had a horrible warm-up that morning on the range, like really struggling to get a ball flight with anything, and decided to do some like set and turn thought for the day, just to like get me around somehow today.
Up top is Adam Scott's position where he demonstrates the set and turn, and below is Simon talking about the curl and turn. It's crazy too with all this disc golf how they're all right-handed. So I can flip that horizontally and you can see it is so similar. And again, this is what Adam Scott said his best round was. And in the video where he talks about it, he's definitely not doing that movement. Finally making our way back to Finau. From what I just talked about with a neutral grip, there's the tendency for the elbow crease to go up to where you have to correct to get back on plane. With a strong grip, that elbow is already positioned to be on plane. I'd say that his elbow is decently on plane. A lot better than normal neutral grips would be. And the reason I think he can do this is because he has that open face. Helps position your elbow, so instead of the arm wanting to be pushed out, it knows it wants to start curling. Takeaway time, and to do this, I'm going to compare Finau's setup to Barella's, and flip him so they're all doing a left-hand backhand motion. Point number one, you want the neutral grip for consistency. Finau has a neutral grip, Barella has the neutral grip. Point number two, hover the club head at address. Disc is clearly hovered. The reason we want this is to get a feel for the weight and don't want the first move of our takeaway to try to figure out where the head is. We want to know that balance before we move. And number three, we want the open face to help get that elbow into the right position. You can see from Barella's disc, it is super open, but that elbow is on plane. Finau's isn't that open, and I'm not saying yours should be that open, but it still helps minimize the amount of movement needed to get that elbow on plane. Really though, what I'm talking about is having our setup be more dynamic, athletic, ready to throw, ready to swing the club position. Finau's able to do that here, we can as well, and we can play around with what that position should be. With the neutral grip, you can try to open the face more. The first move is getting that elbow on plane. You can mess around with all of that stuff. And that's what I'm talking about, having it be dynamic, and again, matching the disc golf backhand throwing motion. More to come from Finau's swing. I start making these and think they're going to be pretty short, and they keep getting longer.